Hey Capricorn, welcome to your little mini reading here. We are using Tiger Breathing Bears deck. It's an artist named Squeak, and you can find him on Instagram under Tiger Breathing Bear. Anyway, it's a beautiful, dynamic, gorgeous deck. I love it. And any interaction with the channel is fabulous and wonderful and really helps us at least maintain our current position here. So. All right, so from the top of the deck, we're going to draw 5 cards, see what happens. The monster. Oh, so he has major arcana. He hasn't numbered it, and they all do correlate directly to something in the major arcana of the deck that we know currently in its current format. And I know those things, but I forget them. And it really releases me from expectations, from having to meet your understanding of a card. It just lets my intuition go. So, monster. I love the instructional, the hand move, like keep your hands down. So it's reminding me of the strength card of there being like a dynamic here, Capricorn, a very difficult dynamic, and you're having to restrain yourself quite a bit here. You'd like to claws out, you'd like to do a bunch of that stuff, but instead you're restraining yourself. You're being a friendly monster. You're being a more socially acceptable monster, you know, because other people have feelings too. And when we come in as a monster, they don't like it, and they get to respond however they're going to respond. So, you know, it's always nice when we have safe people, but in our lives that we can let our little monster out. But right now you're like, there's a monster that's got, maybe it's not you, maybe it's someone you're dealing with. And they're really restrained, and they're following instructions. They know how to do this, and they are doing it, and they are being very restrained. 6 of flowers. Connection. And usually it's connection to the past. There's some nostalgia here. There's for sure nostalgia. Oh, but I also see like phoenixes and birds of a feather. I see birds of a feather. They're different, but they're the same. Maybe they're from the same neighborhood, similar backgrounds. There's a little bit of celebration here. There's a connection, and perhaps this has to do with marriage too, as far as like tying the knot. So maybe your spouse is being a monster, or you're being a monster. Somebody was, so there's been a lot of restraint, and this is actually like allowed for a reconnection with someone or a closer relationship with someone. I can also see this justifying a sense of like remembering a monster from your past that you were connected to and had to be, couldn't disconnect. It's, you know, what children deal with all over the world, and for much of history of, you are legally supposed to be in this house with these people no matter what they behave like, no matter who they are. There's nobody else in charge. I mean, there is sort of sometimes, but like you're kind of bound to this monster, and your hope is that they have some self-restraint, or they're okay. So this could be a monster in the past, or this could be some situation where you've repressed some sort of frustration or anger, not horrifically repressed, but like you've kept yourself in check, and this has created an opportunity for a reconnection or a connection to build. So 9 of Earth, you've been very successful in not acting out, in allowing a connection to build, to grow, or to even like memories. But this 9 of Earth is a card of success and being ready for the next level, being ready to move on, being ready to be released. It just came out in the general reading I just posted. So being ready for the next stage and the next era, having completed your tasks. I don't know a Capricorn that doesn't love to do their work before they play. So you're ready to play, you've done your work, and you're ready to play now. and just kind of waiting for that permission to play a little bit. Maybe you're waiting for the permission to like let the monster out or something like that. Okay, are we close enough? Can I like let myself be a little more difficult, right? Because there's a certain point in relationships where we have to be somewhat more difficult if we're going to be really long-term intimate with someone. There is a sense where they're going to have to see this part of you or this side of you. But there's a lot of success here already, and you're ready to play. You've like done your work. That's what I'm getting. You've done your work and you're ready to play. Four of Flowers. Ooh, reality is not meeting up with expectations. Not meeting up with expectations. That was disappointing. So maybe this is someone you've known from the past and they've been very difficult and you'd like to reestablish a relationship with them, but you're not sure if this just repeats the cycle again or if this is like the real deal. You know, reality hasn't really supported your dreams and your wishes. You know, maybe you've tried to reconcile with this person several times and it just keeps going nowhere, or the bad behavior returns, and it's a cycle, not an actual reality. So you have this vision in your mind, this idea of what you want this to, and you've done your work. This is almost like a continuation of over on the larger reading. It's like you've done your work and you'd like reality or somebody else, it seems like somebody else, to sort of match that. Hey, I've done a bunch of work. But you could be coming to a decision point where is it worth a repeat cycle, or are you gonna have to move on from this? Because yeah, reality just is not matching up with what you're ready for. So some sort of disappointment or even confusion, trying to figure out what's real, what's healthy, what you need. And final card, Two of Earth. Oh, wow. This is definitely a card of creation right here. It's the next step. We have the inspired beginning, and then we have the coming down to earth, coming down to reality. Two of Earth always reminds me of like a little bit of a dance, a little bit of a difficulty, a balancing act. Bringing things into balance, bringing things into equality. I don't think, if equality has been your jam and your vision, that's not felt real here in this relationship. It hasn't felt equal. Two of Earth is juggling, and maybe it's juggling expectations with reality. Maybe it is the juggling of their needs and their vision and your needs and your vision, you know? Like you've calmed down. You're like, you can be worked with now. You can be, you're a little bit calmed or restrained. Maybe you're not really calm. You're restrained. You don't like it. But it's helping to create balance in an old relationship where maybe your expressions or their expressions have been untempered, difficult to deal with, difficult to respond to. There's a sense here of things coming into, and it is a balancing act and a juggling act and slightly uncomfortable and a whole new thing going on here. There's a whole new thing going on here, and it is going to take some effort on your part to balance something. I mean, in the middle of this, there's this disappointment. There's this you being ready, you having done the work, and them not meeting you. And like, I almost feel like reality's moving on. We've got a new reality coming in, whether you want it or not, whether you're ready for it or not. It's coming in. And I mean, you can either go with it or bag it or whatever, but there's a new thing coming in. Should you choose to continue on in a relationship with someone, it does seem like a relationship. If you choose to continue on with this, there's a lot of juggling. I don't know. I think it is continuing on whether you want it to or not. And a new reality is being created. You may be actually a little bit disappointed about the direction this goes in. because you've done your work. You're good. You're ready. You're fine. You're happy. This specifically, one other person is not meeting you there. And it's just a balancing act, I think, between disappointment and expectation, between their needs and your needs, between who they are and who you've become. You've done your work. You're here now. You're available. You're ready to go. They're not showing up. And it's difficult to manage, I think. Yeah, there's a new reality here already. And it's just inevitable. There's an inevitability here. You may not like it. You may have done your very best. All right, Capricorn, well, that was a perky little reading. I feel like we need to do a little wild Kuan Yin here. One last, the wildest Kuan Yin right here. Trust. Trust what you feel the divine is communicating to you through the happenings around you. There is divine guidance in all things if we know how to feel and look for it through the heart without silencing our intuition with logic. Trusting some kind of process, trusting yourself, trusting what you see with your own eyes, trusting that the future will be different from the past one way or another. Trusting yourself to navigate this all without becoming a monster again. All right, hopefully that was helpful for you. Thank you, Capricorn. Talk to you later. Bye.